Well, that was a bit disappointing. Hopefully you can hear me. You can see me. StreamYards have apparently become extremely stingy and only allow you to show one video in your live stream without upgrading. So you got the 30-second countdown and not the amazing intro music I normally put up here. But anyway, welcome to Beyond the Horizon, episode 11, which, unlike all the previous ones, is actually something, I did, as you saw, me sticking out an incomprehensible cosmology paper. To help me discuss the lunacy of that, I have one guest so far. I will let you know if I see any more. And that is Juka, Joncia Jedalava, the incomparable, awesome physicist who I have plenty of questions for. I believe he might have some questions for me as well. But I'm going to try and bring him back in now. Mm-hmm.
Hello. Thank you very much for inviting me here.
Brilliant. You unmuted perfectly.
Oh, yeah.
Hello. And thank you. Thank you for coming.
It's okay. I mean, it's a pleasure for me, actually. And it's not okay. It's pleasure. And probably you over-exaggerate on a scale of several order of magnitude how brilliant physicist I am.
That was one of my questions for you. I mean, unlike me, I think you are still an active physicist, whereas I have for 10 years not been, and then did this thing. But you still are in academia, are you not, or not?
I stay in academia, but not in active research. So it's hard to quantify. So because I'm in a big collaboration, right, I usually doing some strange tasks which not directly related to physics. It's more like signal reconstruction than some data mining or like something this sort of thing. And that's actually gives me the feeling of detaching from the physics at all. So I realized I started to forget it. And then after COVID, I switched to teaching.
Yeah.
And only last year, I would say I do something more or less related to active science, but it's not so active as I wish it would be.
Yeah. But more active than me, I suspect, in the last 10 years.
I don't think so. No.
I didn't do anything for 10 years.
You're also teaching, right? You're teaching, you're thinking a bit, and you are capable to alone write down and finalize the paper, which is a lot of stuff. I mean, no?
I guess. Would you say you're an experimental physicist rather than a theoretician?
I don't think so. In the middle, I'm stuck in the transition. So my background is in theory, but I'm not. I don't feel full scale experimentalist because I'm not working with hardware as much as I want to. I could, I think, but I don't have a chance. And I'm also not a data analyst in terms. I never done the whole analysis from the beginning to the end.
Yeah. So you are, in fact, more like me, the most loathed and despised of physicists, a phenomenologist, yeah?
I would say right now, yes, it's more phenomenologist.
Yeah. Phenomenologists unite. We are the most loathed physicists. We will never, ever get a Nobel Prize because there's no way we'd fit into that category.
Well, it might be if you're working with a nice group and an applied physicist and they need some broader expertise now. No?
Oh, well,
don't kill it.
The Nobel Prize is set up for, initially for experimentalists. It was for experimental results. And then they just about managed to crowbar theoreticians in by saying, if you can prove an experimental result, or if an experimental result proves you, which is how Einstein or Higgs got in on the act, then you can get a Nobel Prize as well. But there's no way on earth a phenomenologist would ever get one, is there? Oh, unless you can think of one.
It's hard. Yeah. Okay. I need to switch to experiment
or theory. One or the other. We can't sit in the middle. Apparently,
Theory is harder. I think, but experiment is also. I think it's in the end it's a big gambling.
Yeah,
it's big because sorry.
Yeah, I think. Well, it's safe to say neither of us are in this for the Nobel Prizes.
No, I mean gambling in terms of there's sometimes about the amazing people who do amazing things. Like for example, imagine Einstein, five like fundamental papers. One of it like gravity, like no, special theory of relativity.
Yeah.
General theory of relativity.
Yeah.
Photo effect.
Yeah.
Then the smell distribution or something, and the fifth I forget. But
Yeah.
from among of these brilliant works, each of them will be lifetime proud to have, right? He get Nobel Prize only for one. And in general theory and like special relativity, they said, no, he's not good enough. We already have this all. He just finalized some work. So even if in this case of extremely productive, brilliant scientist, if he only get it by chance, it seems, right? If not photo effect explanation, he will not get it. I feel I have this feeling. So it means like it's harder to do when even if you're a brilliant scientist.
True. So yeah, it's not something we're banking on, that's for sure. 1 second, I can see someone floating in the periphery of the chat thingy. 1 sec.
I think someone joined us.
Someone called Gavantsa. Does this ring a bell to you?
Yes. Yeah. Friend of mine.
Should I let her in?
You might.
I don't mind. The more the merrier. Okay, I'm gonna. I'm so inelegant when I do this because I have to duck under the microphone. Here we go.
Shoot.
Hello. Who am I speaking to?
I'm incognito person from
Incognito person.
But very intrigued about your talk, so I'm gonna listening, but not to interrupt you at all. Just listening, and
okay.
If I have any question, I will write down.
Perfect. You have full control. I'm sorry I muted you without permission, but I did
it's okay. I wasn't prepared. It was just an accidentally, and it was interesting talk. So I am listening now.
Well, thank you very much. Now I've lost my train of thought. So Juka, what would you like to ask me about then?
Okay, so first of all, I ask you how you find the courage and motivation to do your research in this after all these years you were talking about, and why?
That's a good question. Well, because I've done a lot of things that are not physics research over the years. I did all those like writing Doctor Who stuff, or not. I shouldn't say that because I'm definitely, it's not Doctor Who. Nowhere in my books will you find the word Who anywhere, but it's a definite parody of the once popular BBC TV series that is no longer popular. It's like in the toilet right now. But anyway, so my 3 books, which were YouTube series, which became books and audiobooks, that's what I've been distracting myself with for a large chunk of the last on for 10 years. And so I wasn't doing any physics research. And then I realized, well, I'd done that, and I did a few other things. I made some audiobooks, which I'm still doing, which is great fun as well, that are not my work, except I make the audiobook. But in all of this, I wasn't using my training, what I'd been trained to do. I had that doctorate title for a reason. I mean, I'd been trained to do physics, and I was doing no physics. I hadn't even refereed a paper for about maybe the first couple of years after I got my doctorate. I refed a couple of papers, and then even then I was not very reliable for the papers, so they stopped asking me. So I was doing nothing. And one other reason why I started again was you might be aware that AI is getting quite popular right now in various fields. And at the moment, AI is great at language. They are large language models. They are bullshit artists. They're like politicians for your PC. They're good at sounding plausible, but they're not good at actually doing the maths yet. But they will be. And it'll be only a matter of time, short time, I think, before everything I just did, an AI will probably be able to do it. That's why I thought it's time to do it now. Well, I can put my name on something and say, no, that was me, not some piece of software with a brain doing it for me. This was me. So I thought it's selfish, I know, but I thought let's get some credit for something I did while I can do it and get credit for it before AI does it all for us. There you go. Is that a complete enough answer?
Okay. Well, I feel more inspired by AI, probably because I'm not native speaker in English, obviously. So, and
It's
for me, AI tool.
yes.
Big surprise, guys. Reveal, yeah. We should keep it in the end of the episode, and the people, oh my god, no way, yeah. But...
yeah, the reveal. Sorry, interrupt.
No. But for me, it is useful tool in order to polish my English writing, especially. Like in Georgian, I think in my native language, I really feel the words, like flow the words, the meanings, subtle meanings. In English, of course, not. So it helps me. I have the discussion, and somehow I get the critique from this synthetic electric dude more than from a friend, and I can argue and ask him to explain. And last paper I write with this assistance. Language, okay, mathematics not yet, but some arguments, some even paper search. It's actually easier now with AI rather than Google. So for me, it's easier for small group to do. Now think I need at least 4 or 5 people.
I mean, so I get it. I mean, particularly because in sciences, there's the unfair advantage for English-speaking countries is the lingua franca, pardon the pun, for science is English. We have to write in English. And for anyone who's not an English native speaker, that is harder. And so totally get it. The flip side of that, a reason why I don't use AI for very specific things. These things being things I can do myself. I don't use AI to do the research. I don't use AI to write because those two things I know I can do. But I've been watching my colleagues who are using AI to help write reports, help write, reports and things. I'm thinking, but you are an English native speaker. You should be able to write and type your own stuff. Yeah, you can do it faster, getting AI to do your stuff for you, but a report on whatever should be something, your opinions on something, not an AI's opinions on something, slightly modified maybe if you put a little bit of work in. But
I still feel like if you kind of supervise it, it's okay. If you just bullshitting people, I just try to completely eliminate yourself from the working process, give it to AI and just send outcome, it will be shittiest report probably ever. I have one student who I told her like she is from minority, Turkish speaking minority, Georgia, Azerbaijani, but whatever. And so she sent. I told her like you can use the Gemini or Grok or ChatGPT, whatever you want, to translate these Turkish sources because obviously there are like more sources on this. In physics especially, rather in Georgian, right? Georgia struggle. Just use it for translation. What she did, she literally just feed it with some paper and just straight output of the ChatGPT was dumped into the bachelor report file or whatever, and it was. And I tried to convince her that this is not I meant. No, you told me use it. I said, I told you use it, but not in this way. Like,
I know.
I mean, you can use paper pen with the same argument. Oh, you said pen is okay, so I can now write complete bullshit, right?
Well, did she copy the ChatGPT from the screen in pen, which made it okay?
No. She just jumped it, just dump it without hesitation. So it was even like common typos. Like in Georgian, it's not so perfect as in English. It was a complete mess.
Well, I'm not averse to using AI. As I'm sure you're aware, I use AI to do the audiobooks I'm making at the moment, where I have dead actors, because I can't do a decent impression of the various dead actors that I'm using. I can't do a good Richard Burton impression. Maybe I could do James Mason at a push. I could possibly sound a little bit like James Mason, but I could not hold that up for an entire audiobook. So I will use AI to do mimicking dead actors, because I can't. And artwork on various books, audiobooks I've made, the artwork, frequently I use AI to generate the images for that, but I don't leave it messed with. I don't take the AI output from the voice translation ones as it is straight. I edit it. If it does it badly, I get it to redo it. If the spacing between words, phrases needs to be altered. The speed of delivery needs to be altered. The pitch sometimes needs to be altered. I don't leave the output as it is. And the artwork, to be fair, I rarely get a complete artwork for what I want for a cover image. I often have to alter that too and make it look better. So I will use AI for the things I can't do. And I understand that. That I think is acceptable. What I worry about is people using AI like your student for things that they maybe should be able to do. I mean, the translation when it's a different language, not so much, but if you're using it to do things that you like to write, I would be completely against using AI to write anything, because that's meant to be one of my competencies. I can write, so I should write. And I wouldn't want it to do physics for me either, because I should be able to do physics like you, and not do. You wobbling your head. Yes, you do physics. We should be able to do that without AI doing it for us, I think. What do you think?
No, I kind of agree with it, but for me, it's like calculator. There's very advanced one. So definitely you should use it. If you kind of stuck in the opinion that I will not use it like for calculations because I can do it myself, sure, you can do it by yourself. But sometimes there are some errors. It's better to use the calculator, like just obvious, right?
I agree with you. I'm not just using a calculator. This very paper, here it is in my hand, it's hot and sweaty hand. I used Kodama to get the formulae out nice and neatly and to derive the formula. Basically, I threw in the metric and threw in the basic underlying equations. Now give me the Einstein field equations, for example, or the Ricci tensor scale, or the Ricci scalar. All of those generated using Kodama, but that's not an AI. That is literally a computer, as you say. It's a calculator. It's grinding through. It's from 2006. The package is so old it couldn't possibly be AI. It's written in Python, for God's sake. That is different, I think. He's thinking.
I don't know. I think it's a matter of terminology more. For my taste. For my taste, if something make your working process easier, why should I care? Is it like AI or program? I would not trust the program this age. Probably I will check it anyway. I will get the confidence.
From 2006.
Yeah. Like I will I will get the confidence that it's giving me okay answers or like redundant answers, and then I can use it. And the same with AI. Like I just constantly checking it, and if I keep in mind that this is just a tool, I think it's okay. Whenever I will start to say, okay, now I can delegate all this stuff to it, then probably I can see the drawbacks. But at some point, I have a feeling that people in ancient Roman Empire, if they are patricians, they kind of were slaves, sometimes advanced slaves, sometimes like very hardworking slaves. But we are moving to this direction. We now all get this noble Roman aristocrats using AI as tools. But I don't know, maybe at some point in 100 years, people will say, like, oh, they unethically use robots, and we should ban all the people who use AI labor for free. But it's not for free yet.
That's true.
But at first place, But
AIs haven't started raising their voices.
So it's. I feel that I can be more productive with it.
Fair
I
enough.
really can now do things I will not even dare to do. So yesterday, I don't know. Do you remember, like several years ago, I almost drill your brain with this idea that I want to draw the cartoons with the physics explanations or something.
Yes.
And I started podcasting because of this, and I never done it because the project seems like huge. I do like small pieces of animation, but it's like very labor intense stuff. But now it's accidentally pop up this advertisement for the Grok, like Super Grok or whatever, and this, and I try to simulate the star mechanics I want to use, and the result I like so much that I think now I can dare to do this even alone.
Good.
even with minimal financial support. So I can, I don't know, do this 10 minutes, 10 seconds, 50 seconds clips, and then put them in a frame, like same big frame. For me, it's good thing. I understand I can become lazy and stuff, but to the other end, should you cook and like hunt and kill all the meat you eat, or like grow all your food? I mean, you can do some certain things. Like I don't know, a couple of tomatoes, or I have a kumquat in my garden. That's nice. But growing all the food, it will take all the time from you, and this personal impact to the work, I think could be achieved more if you have this free labor or free slaves as AI or robots or whatever. Washing machine is a robot, actually.
I think we agree more than we disagree, because you're basically describing exactly what I said. You're using it to make animations, which you're not an animating artist. You know, I think it's acceptable that you have something to do that for you. And what's I going to say?
No, but even physics narrative, I will actually check it. I will. So, for example, I try to write the short story. So I check, like, okay, I don't agree with it as much as as any, like, how to say. It's not like 100% expert for me. But it gives me some very good points, and some stuff in order to share with a friend, I need to spend more time, more effort. It's like too personal, maybe. And with this machine, I'm kind of okay to share it, get the feedback. Don't be personally
you're not shy.
attacked by, not attacked, but vulnerable. I don't feel vulnerable in face of this electric machine. With friends, there's sometimes some, I don't know, some do this, some petting, maybe some over patronizing or whatever. But I feel even in the things where I'm good, I will double check it with AI. Maybe I would disagree. So I use it as a second opinion of someone I will trust. Like,
well, the advantage, I'd say, you've kind of highlighted a disadvantage of AI, is you can't see what's going on under the hood as easily as you can with, say, Kadabra, which is that package I was just talking about, because I wouldn't have got through this as quickly if I hadn't been using Kadabra, and I wouldn't have got through it so quickly if I hadn't been using Kadabra without questioning to what it was doing, because it was generating the background energy conservation equation, and the way it would have spat it out, or the way it looked, there was no way it would have reduced to the Friedman-Robertson-Walker energy conservation equation with rho bar equals 3h rho plus 3h rho equals 0. That's the basic one. And the thing it was spitting out, Kadabra, was doing a 2x dot over x rho plus 2a dot over a rho plus another x dot over x rho equals 0. And 2 and 2 and 1 never makes 3. And there was no exactly. There's no way that would reduce to FRW. At least on the surface, it looks like that would never reduce to FRW. But I was able to scroll up through its working because it's transparent. It's just a Python program going spit, spit, spit through each stage. As I scrolled up, I could see that one of the 2x dot over x rows that it produced comes from the off-diagonal components. And the off-diagonal components in the limit reduced to 0 anyway. So it would go back to the FRW. And I was stuck there for a good week or so going, what the hell's going on here? I'm sure believe me, I made every mistake you can making this thing. The whole paper. I know it's probably 95% correct. I'm not going to say 100%, because I made every mistake you can make until I got to the final finished product. It's like, well, there's nothing left to do wrong now. I've done every wrong thing I could possibly do. But that wasn't wrong, actually. That was me not checking what its working had been, I guess. And when I did check, it's like, oh, that came from the off diagonals. That's 0 anyway. And if you reduce the limit, But anyway, that's my objection back to what I said originally. The AI objection would be you can't see under the hood like that.
Not, but okay, the same with the man, right? The same with a friend. It's some things you can double check, or like you might force it to give you the sources. You might expand some explanations. I mean, you can do it with some particular questions, and you can derive it to the direction you want even. But it just emerged in my brain the question: do you use it for the TeX file production?
Well, kind of, because Kadabra is actually a TeX program. It's actually a glorified text editor. All it's doing is Python processing a text document. So I can actually pull its result out and stick it in the TeX file I do for the paper in the end.
No, but what I ask, like, do you use for the TeX, like final in TeX document? Are you using all editing like with you, or the some parts you want to work around and use AI to help you, or not? Really?
It's just text editing, man. I mean, it's just I used to, way back in the day, work in the internet industry. You know, I still make web pages in HTML. You know, it's like, why would I not? It's just a simple text layout language. I mean, that's all it is. So to be fair, to be lazy, I always use previous papers as my bare bones for what I'm writing now, because I've got half the stuff set up already. But yeah, I just write it in TeX.
Because we have some strange tables we need to put in the TeX, and we struggle with that. And then we started to check
about it, mate.
Which AI is working better with TeX, and some of them is better with Wolfram mathematics.
I'm better at LaTeX now after that last paper I just pumped out than I was before. For exactly what you're saying, I understand the things they did wrong in the earlier papers. I now understand better in this one. It's like, oh, that's how you make a table do that. That's how you do that. Okay. There were other things that. What else was I doing
because of Kadabra? Or
no, that was actually just in the document. They're just putting the paper together afterwards. Like, what was mucking up the formatting here? And I got better ideas. Also, my LaTeX. That was what I just said, LaTeX. My Kadabra knowledge is better than the last times I used it as well, because I realized I was putting in superfluous brackets, which I didn't need, which was, in fact, if anything, confusing Kadabra more than helping it. It was like, oh, yeah, that, you know how maths works. You know that isn't necessary. Keep it out. Simplify it. And it was the most elegant Kadabra stuff I've ever written. Was this? It's still a mess, but better than I've ever done before. But it is just text editing, man. It's just not something I require AI for, that's for sure.
Okay, I see.
I reckon. There was another question.
Maybe I'm just a technical geek, so that's why you want to use AI in every possible way I could. So.
Like I say, I'm not averse to using AI. You know I use it for stuff I'm not good at. But I do want my brain... The other reason I went back to doing research was to stop my brain falling out and becoming complete rot. So it was actually being used for something as well, beyond the everyday. There was another question. You reminded me of something. It was to do with, yeah, I remember. So, rude question, I know for you. When was the last time you had a paper published?
So it's in a big collaboration, it's not working this way. So it's constantly going for fall. So I will take the responsibility only for the one I kind of personally touched, and it's a small group.
Yeah.
So because in collaboration, it's like hundreds per year. It's
yeah.
Counting, you know.
Well
so
done.
I would say like the theory, this kind of semi experimental approach, like phenomenology paper with some theory work, I think it's almost published now. So it's like more or less finished. So So I expect it to be the last one.
Yeah. Is it submitted or
it's free? It's almost accepted. It's one round of referee, and we just send the back and proceedings from the almost the same idea. The proceedings from the conference also are kind of published. So
cool. Yeah. So you're much more.
Yeah. More or less.
You're much more.
No.
Yeah. You're in the. Sorry, I keep interrupting.
But there are two of us, so we are writing together. So it's not me and AI.
Yeah.
With AI, we are three of us.
Yeah, but you're still there, and you know how papers normally move. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of.
My experience was with glacial slowness in the past. Yeah. very, very slow.
Well, I do not objective. I cannot tell you objectively because the paper was so speculative.
Right.
Our paper is kind of Lorentz. So it's not even in theory. So it's in. There's very few referees they can actually find. So they struggle to find the referees for this paper who accept it for several months. And that's why I don't know how it's in general, maybe. I don't know in the case.
Well, the reason I ask is because this whole process for this paper has been unbelievably quick from my personal experience, because all my experiences are 10 plus years old. My first paper was out, 2014, 15. My second paper was 2015, 16. That's over 10 years ago. But in both cases, CQG, which was the first one I published in, PRD was the second one, they took months to turn it around. And they took at least a month between each exchange of communication, This time, PRD were responding within a day or two of then sending a response. I'd send a response back. To be fair, I would respond the same day because I was that excited to actually get a response. I want this thing done. But they were also just as rapid getting back. They only put it through one referee, which is slightly worrying, as far as I can tell. I only got one ref report back. It was incredibly fast compared to my prior experience. And I'm just not worried, but wondering why it was so fast. How does it tally with what it doesn't tally with my previous experience, and it doesn't seem to tally with your experience. So what the hell's going on?
I think if they find the expert quick, I mean, it's still personal thing. So it's still humans behind this correspondence. So
I hope so.
If they find someone who is excited, quickly reader, so probably he's working. I mean, I don't think it was ever a technical issue. It was more like someone just don't want to waste his time, or someone has too much work or whatever. So
I think you might be right. I'm nodding, thinking about, I should use my brain here. When I was referring more regularly, it was when I was myself a PhD student, which means I was definitely busy doing other things, more interested in other things. And this is just something on the side I had to do. So I wasn't very quick at responding myself as a referee. So I delayed the whole process. Maybe I just found they found one diligent referee.
But I have the good explanation for you for working hypothesis. So maybe universe want humans understand it so badly that it's like push you through this reviewing process so quick for the reason, Maybe this is a sign.
This rotating cosmology is universally groundbreaking. Oh my god, I mean, I do wonder if this might be the cosmology we should be using. I mean, I did choose to do this cosmology because it was more interesting than what I might have done otherwise. This research, by the way, was just me picking something that I could use what I'd done before and knock the rust off my brain to get it working again. So I picked this not because I thought it was the most important thing ever that could be done. We never do that sort of thing, but it was something I could do. It's something I probably could do. So I picked that. But also, I mean, it's not entirely true. I did watch lots of YouTube videos with Sabine Hosenfelder and Anton Petrov. They both talked about those galaxy alignment results being published off the back of the JWST observations that were further on top of the SDSS observations showing this galaxy alignment. And they talked about maybe a rotating cosmology was the cause. And at that point, and they actually, one of them quoted Obukhov's expanding Gödel cosmology as the one they might use. And I thought, well, they haven't done what I've done. They finding conserved quantities in that. So I could do that. So that's why I picked it. But I don't think I didn't think at the time I didn't pick it because I thought this is important, this must be done, this is going to win us prizes, all of that sort of stuff. No, we don't think that. But now I've done it, I do think maybe the universe really was rotating at very early times. Not in late times, obviously, because there would be much more obvious observational consequences for late time rotation. But maybe very early on. During inflation or just post-inflation, maybe there was a rotational element. How the universe got it, I'm damned if I know. But yeah, it would make sense, maybe. So this could be useful. What was the original question? I forget.
I think there was the original speculation that might be the case, because it reminds me somehow the opposite idea of the Strugatsky, brothers Strugatsky. They write this sci-fi short story. It was very popular in Soviet Union, these two authors.
Yeah.
I'm not sure globally, I don't know, but at least in Soviet Union. So the idea was like the guy wanted to do some breakthrough in like fast changing of something.
Yeah.
And each time he almost have done the solution, something distracts him. And like his ex-girlfriend show up, some neighbor show up, some strange trees grow out of nowhere in the yard. And then he can come up with conclusion that if he get the answer to this equation, it will disturb universe so much that it violates some of its conservation equations, and that's why it can't be done. So maybe it's more positive interpretation of this idea, like maybe universe want to be understand, at least this guy now finally understand me. So please, at least publish this paper, guys. What are you doing?
Yeah, maybe so. Yes, we are all undoubtedly bound up in the universe. There's just no way of escaping that. So, yeah, I think a lot of my friends might well agree with you, and even on some level, maybe even I do too. So,
that's good. That's positive explanations. I mean, why should we stuck in there?
Yeah, let's be positive. Yeah.
I think Kwanza just asked. Have a question. Could she ask right now, or like?
Yeah. Do you want?
No, I think she would write down in chat.
Okay, sure. Hopefully I can read it.
This is the format I think you have, right?
Yeah, sure. Which chat are we talking about?
I think on the StreamYard chat.
Okay, let me see.
I can ask the question and we can.
Do that. I'm just see if I can bring up. I'm not sure I've got it on screen. Hang on a sec.
Okay. No, I can see. I can read it. Don't bother.
Brilliant. You act as translator. That's much better.
I will be your AI assistant.
Yeah, please do.
I have another. Yeah. We was discussing that I should keep the fake mustache under the original one, and it will be like very nice comedy move. I think
I do like that comedy move. I have used it myself in the past.
I should do it at some party, like before, like cappuccino drink or something. Like take it out, and it will be shorter one.
Anyway, yes, you have a question by proxy, I believe.
I have a question. No, it was like, wow, this is like a long question.
So you've got homework then, really?
I'm a journalist and I use artificial intelligence very often to generate text. When an article is a bit long, I always use some kind of trick to keep the reader from the dropping off halfway through. Yes. For example, I might use a joke or metaphor or blah, 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 and add lightness, okay? And this is something AI does not really manage well. It does not have a strong sense of humor, nor is particularly good at offering irony or sarcasm. So my two questions are, first one, how close or how far away are we from a time when artificial intelligence will be significantly more creative? And from your perspective as a scientist, what do you feel you personally lack in the same way that I, as a journalist, lack the things I've just described? So
yeah.
Okay. Does she? How do you think? Does she use AI to generate this question?
Yeah, that's a good question. This is getting very meta. It's just anyway. What do I? Well, I like loads of things in terms of science. God's sake, maths. I'm not very good at. I'm not a good mathematician. I'm not a mathematician. I'm a physicist, for God's sake, which is something I frequently have to point out to people, that I'm not a mathematician. So my maths is not great. I can now do the things I need to do, but barely. I don't understand a lot of the things. For example, this, going back to me, it's all about me. Going back to this paper, the perturbations, I'm analyzing the perturbations to find the conserved quantities. The standard way of doing it is to break down the perturbations into their scalar, vector, and tensor components, which I don't do because it makes it inherently more complicated and complex to deal with. And in fact, that's how I did the previous paper in LTB and Lemaitre, was by saying to my supervisor at the time, when he looked at what my second supervisor was doing in related work, where he'd split it into scalar, vector, tensor, I said, why bother? And he said, what? I said, why not leave the perturbations as raw perturbations and not split them to scalar, vector, tensor? And just you do the whole analysis you want to do with the raw perturbations, which is how I got the result in Lemaitre, Tom, and Bondi cosmology. And it's also how I got the result in this cosmology as well, by not decomposing. So my weakness is I'm not good at maths, but it becomes my strength because I then find a way around my weakness to do it in a way that I can do. So mine is more babyish than some physicists and mathematicians would think, because they would immediately go into the decompose this thing, do it with that. And I was like, well, no, why? This is easier this way. So I wouldn't, the opposite. I haven't used AI to do the complex way for me. I found an easier, simpler way that my little tiny human brain could cope with. Was that helping? Does that answer some of the question?
I think it's answered the second question. And the first one asked you about how long will it take to AI completely hijack all this creativity from us humans.
Well, I don't know. It depends how discerning the audience is. I would say that, and I agree, an AI can't be as witty, as funny, as unexpected as a human can be. I hope so, because you know, I'm also an artist. I never like to really describe myself with that, but you know, I'm a commissioned, paid for, and published author. You know, they actually got me to write stuff for money, to be published commercially. It's one of my 3 competencies I like to count. I've got the academic competency we're talking about today. I have the artistic competency, which, you know, being commissioned and paid for and published is a tick. I'll take that. That's a competency. I don't think AI can do what I did, or what a good author, a competent author, I don't make myself good, a competent author can do, being unexpected, humorous, imaginative. But it might be able to, and it might already be at a level that your average Sun reader, your average, if anyone reads a newspaper these days, your average newspaper reader might be satisfied with the complexity of the story. You know, AI might be able to do that now. I don't know. And I don't think it's that far off doing it for a broad audience. What do you think?
It's raised one question I want to ask you. So there's actually 2 about mathematical expertise. I feel the same. So I feel that mathematics I'm good with, but I do not have enough knowledge in mathematics to make a mathematical breakthroughs. Like, for example, a completely developed new apparatus for me, it's like struggle, like mathematical apparatus. I know vectors, I can use vectors, but tetrads, I will not probably use tetrads by myself.
That's me too. What the hell's a tetrad?
Probably I need to write how they use it in physics and maybe apply them, but this is a different story, right? And I want to ask you, what do you feel why this lack of mathematical confidence, where it's come from? Like school level, in your case, for example, or university, or maybe it's neither.
I now teach maths at mostly to tiny kids at the moment, but I do teach. I've done it all the way up to the undergrads. You know, some of it I think is because a lot of the math teaching is kind of mechanical and formulaic, and they, ironically, they ask you to learn a way of doing something, and this is the way to do it, and they don't think about, well, actually, there's different ways of doing it. They're bound up in the formalism of language of mathematics without the intuition of mathematics. And I never trusted my gut instinct. When I could see something in maths, in a math lesson, I thought, oh, that's that because of something I could see in my head whizzing around, like a 3D shape or something like that. Oh, there's some visual trick or placeholder in my head to help me understand the maths. That trusting your intuition is not encouraged in maths, in teaching, I think, enough. And sometimes you should check it later with more rigorous checks, but do trust your intuition if you think it's leading in the right direction, and use your weird thoughts to help you. Like going the other end entirely, it certainly has to imagine general relativity objects, four-dimensional objects, four-dimensional space-times. And I don't imagine the right thing because my little monkey brain can't imagine 4 dimensions, orthogonal dimensions, because I can only do 3 with my fingers, and I can't stick a 4th stick on there at right angles to the other 3. So I do think of spheres when I'm thinking about hyperspheres. I do think about actual saddles when I'm thinking about hypersaddles or hypersaddles like that. We should be allowed to think about wrong things, but just be confident to know they're wrong, but go as far as you can with the wrong idea. I don't know. What do you think?
I think the things I was good at school, like mathematics, and call it mathematics. Like in the end, it's arithmetics, like advanced arithmetics, maybe algebra, but not in the sense of proving or understanding mathematical concept, just following the rules, as you say.
Sure.
And because of that, I do not have this capabilities and discipline, like mostly discipline. I think as a physicist, I rely more on my perception of physics. Then you kind of apply mathematics, and then you realize like you're not quite. It's harder to explain someone why you apply this particular equation to this and why you drop out all other stuff, because you tell I don't think it's relevant. And this, I don't think it's relevant from mathematical perspective. It's a nightmare because you do not prove it. You don't. I mean, it's working. You know that you build something, it's working. You can check it, it's working. But somehow, I lack this discipline of proving, understanding mathematical concepts, understanding that okay, this way of thinking actually what makes the proof complete from mathematical standpoint. So this come from school probably. And maybe like even like early classes, and I think maybe I will try to. And like if someone asks me like what should I teach in mathematics, like maybe try to fill this gap of abstract thinking and proving, and maybe that gives you, because from
my weakness as well, by the way. We share that.
Oh, that's nice. But people from the mathematical schools, there was much better in this than me. Absolutely. And I just understand that this is from school. This is because my teacher, it gives me some opportunity she gives me some opportunity to prove some stuff, but not in a way they have this opportunity to comprehend this complex ideas, use the mathematical induction, this deriving the geometry from the beginning. That's the things you need to get a habit. And my physics teacher was brilliant, but mathematics teacher was just average. It's not bad, not good. But I mean, average, very good, professional, but it's not enough to understand mathematics in a big manner.
Sounds very similar to me as well. I had much more fun and inspirational physics teachers than the math teachers at school, that's for sure. Even my chemistry teacher was more fun and inspirational than the math teachers, and hence my chemistry results were better than in the end than I would have expected because of that, and it pulled down my other grades because I was concentrating more than I should be. But that's not the point. I think there is a problem with maths teaching generally, worldwide, globally, that there are too many mechanical maths teachers and not enough inspirational, imaginative. They don't see the problems that other people have with. We have problems with maths, but that's why we can teach maths, because we know that you mostly have. Everyone else has these same problems, where the mathematicians don't always have that.
I think the one of the things is like a good mathematician is like an art. Like you just get it or not.
Hmm.
I mean, it's
So
it's not something you easily can teach. I mean, it's not easier than being a good musician, I think.
Hmm.
And because of that, it's not a skill you want to transfer probably to the general population. It's not like so. It's like a music classes.
Hmm.
Probably distribution of music, good musicians among the population will be the same as good mathematicians. But this is just I don't know. I need to check
Right. Yeah.
May I jump to another question, which
Yes.
I think relative to this. The
Yes.
second thing I want to ask you, what is, so you said it will not be as spontaneous as you as a writer, like AI.
Yeah.
So not so creative. So what is the source of this creativity of yours, you think?
Bloody hell. Okay.
Like spontaneity, is it enough to be like, it's not enough to be spontaneous, or it is? Because if it is, you can put some digital dices into the AI and it will fix the problem, right? It will be random as
Okay. I was not expecting to have to delve into my creative writing side of my brain today, but I'm not going to avoid the question because it's an interesting question. And I've often wondered, how the hell do I write? Because a bit like what you talk about with the super spotty mathematicians, where it seems to come naturally, writing does feel natural, like breathing. You know, I sit down and I write, and my editor, back when I was being, paid for and commissioned by a proper person, I would often actually hand him my first draft, written I handwrite my stories as well.
Oh, really?
I do not type stories ever. It's always handwritten. It has to come out of my brain through my hand onto the page through a pen. That's the way it works. I will edit it afterwards and do short sections on the keyboard, but the writing has to come out of my brain through my hand. No, nothing in between, please. But what really shocked my editor quite often was I'd hand him a first draft, handwritten, and say, "How can you do this?" Because it would be done. The story would be there, handwritten, with maybe one line crossed out here or there, or a word crossed out here or there, but boom. I don't always start from the beginning. So sometimes I'll started from a middle section and then gone back and done the beginning later. But usually it would come out as a total story. And that's because, I know where it's starting usually. I know where it's ending usually. I know the exciting middle point as well. I know what the action should be in a story usually. But the story itself is the journey of how you get from the beginning to the end via the middle. So you it should flow out. And that flow is the story. And that's where the narrative beauty where it comes from. This is getting like the mathematicians talk about beauty. It's from the flow of the story. Plus, the other reason I think it is exciting and different and unexpected is because I don't want to get bored writing it. So I change it up at various points, or do a different intro, or do an unexpected twist in the middle of it, or phrase something differently, because I'm getting bored. And if I'm getting bored, the reader's going to get bored. So it's mostly there. It's all down to me, basically. I don't want to I want to entertain myself. So if it has to, when I'm writing it, it has to be relatively entertaining for me. That's my bare minimum base mark. If other people are then entertained by it afterwards, then that's icing on the cake. But it's unexpected because I don't want it to be middle of the road or more boring or expected as you go through it, as you plod through it. So that's one reason why I think humans can be more imaginative than AI, because I don't know if an AI is anything bored with what it's producing. But anyway, what do you reckon?
I don't have that. I mean, I have this. Sometimes you don't have an answer, but you have like several ideas circulating in the brain, and this is the case. So I'm thinking of, if I write down the AI, and then so if I ask AI to write it down something, and then ask it to analyze it as if he is a reader, what he disliked or liked in his own story, and then give him ability to cycle through this several times. Will it give the good result or not? The problem is, it will probably tell you what is the average user's preferences. So the story probably will be very average, very how to say, with full with stamps, just plot twist, which is very expected.
Exactly.
And likable.
Painting by numbers is what we call it. Painting by numbers. It's checkbox writing. And I've read that enough time in other people's writings. I can, now you feel you've got to have a twist. Oh, now you've put a twist in because you felt it had to be. Mostly with the Doctor Who stuff, back to Doctor Who, it's like they must make a reference to Doctor Who. Excuse my French. Stop crowbarring references. I do occasionally make references in anything I'm writing, but I don't do it because I feel I have to. It's because it's a natural part of the narrative and it fits with, or it's funny. But I never think I have to do that. And also my references aren't just, if I'm writing the Doctor Who stuff, it's not just pegged into Doctor Who references only. My references are from literature and film all over the place. That's, if you are, anchored into a very narrow window of influence, as the AI might be, as you said, then its twists and turns will be formulaic and predictable and boring. You've got to have a brain that can go wherever you want it to go in order to draw from whatever it needs to draw for the natural narrative to grow from its beginning to its end through its amazing middle. Anyway, what do you reckon?
But sometimes actually this narrow stuff makes you angry and find out creative ways, because
to break out.
Like I will. Okay, you kind of agree. Like, okay, I will do it. You want me to put the reference, but I put it my way, and then you do something very funny. It might be working this way as well. So somehow you need borders in order to force you to become creative, because then you have you can choose everything. You become like kind of, okay, I don't feel that I need to do something very extremely creative.
That does remind me about a few things. I was a very naughty writer when I was being commissioned. I had 3 stories written, published through Big Finish, and the first 2 I religiously stuck to the word limit they told me to. They said between 4,000 and 8,000 words. That's your lot. Don't go beyond it. And I did. None of my first 2 stories, they were all just under the 8,000 words, all nicely. And none of the other bloody authors I was being published with stuck to the freaking word limit as far as I could see. So the last time, and I knew the editor was coming to the end of his tenure as editor. And it was unlikely another editor would commission me to go again. So for the last story, I wrote my story out to about 12,000 words. So that's 4,000 beyond the end of their word limit. And I'd written it just the way I'm describing, it was compact, concise, tight. None of it was wasted. And that was the thing. They tried to cut it and they chucked out, 1,000-word chunk of it. And I said to them, you've just made the story completely incomprehensible. Point out what they just taken out an entire narrative thread by doing it. This doesn't make any sense anymore. And they went, yeah, you're right. And they had to publish it as it is. It's like they had to publish. So I used the constraints. Well, actually, first of all, I kept the constraints initially. And then the last time I thought, well, if you don't care about the word limit, let's make my story uncuttable so you can't change it down to your word limit this time. And so I used the constraints to my advantage. You're right. Yeah.
So that's.
I'm very proud of that last story. It was the best of the 3 that I did for them, I think, and utterly extravagant, over the top. It was the floppy hat doctor, the classic doctor with the long scarf at his most cocaine-fueled adventurers, jumping all over the place. Best. It was. And it was also a pastiche, is that the right word, of Die Hard. So basically I put the Doctor Who in the Die Hard story, basically, and had him doing that. And it was just, I had immense fun with that story. I am very proud of it. I think it worked very well. But yeah, the constraints made me go outside of what I might have otherwise have done, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so we do not have answer to questions Guantz actually asked, but we kind of answer it, but we don't have all the answers, so we don't know when it happened, but probably yeah.
No,
may I ask a question about the cosmology now?
Oh God. Go on.
Could you explain in a short, like could you explain for your friends who are not cosmologists
Mhm.
what you are actually doing? And
What are you doing?
what?
So it's the way it's like an
My
accusation.
grandmother asked me once, like, was this
Yeah.
particle physics? Like, have you ever seen the electron? And I said, like, well,
Yeah, I mean, it's a good question. What am I trying to do? Well, my little tiny fragment, and we just, as physicists, deal with a tiny, tiny fragment of the whole. So I
unfortunately,
guess I'm looking at how structure formed in the universe. Because I'm doing perturbations, how far do we go without using language that the normal people can't understand? We're using perturbations in the normal background cosmology of stuff out there expanding and being distributed in space, but the little lumps are what make the interesting stuff. So galaxies, really clusters of galaxies, super clusters of galaxies. But yeah, we're looking at how the structure,
small perturbation, galaxy kind of,
super clusters of galaxies. Yeah, that's our grains of sand in our models, which is ridiculous in of itself. How do you describe it? Well, yeah, the tiniest thing in our model is thousands upon thousands of galaxies all close together. What the that's not small. Well, it is by our scale. Yeah, by the scale of what we're dealing with. But yeah, that's, if I was to explain, I'm trying to describe how structure forms on the largest scale with the smallest blocks, I guess. And yeah, that's not. I'll go with that. That's what I do. I try and explain how structure forms in the whole universe. There you go. Is that okay?
That sounds cool.
I think it's inadequate, obviously, but it probably gets the rough idea.
I'm pretty sure it would be funny to put this explanation into the some AI image generator and ask him to generate now the image of yours based on this, and probably it will be some genie with a hands full of galaxies and they're seeping through the.
Shame. You mean it wouldn't be the Millennium simulation then?
I don't know.
Which is a lot better for that, but yeah, in fact, I've got a couple of things. When I give talks on this, I use the Millennium simulation as one hand of the explanation. I have also a time derivative version of the Millennium simulation. So one of them, you've got the beautiful fly through of all the clusters and voids, and you've seen the Millennium simulation, I'm sure. And no, right, you should. It's awesome, even though it's quite old now. But it's a great fly through of the structure of the universe as it was envisaged using that simulation, and then a much more boring but useful one of the time evolution of that same image, where it gets more clumpy over time. Less interesting than flying through it, but it gives you a good idea of how the time evolution happens. So you've got the spatial distribution version, which is the pretty one, and you've got the time evolution one, which is less pretty but looks similar and gives you an idea of how things develop over time. But yeah, I would hope an AI might use one of or both of those two to give us our image, but you're right, probably will come up with a genie.
No, I imagine like you standing and holding all this in your hands.
Yeah, maybe so. So yes, I've forgotten. Was there any? What was there? Did we cover all the questions that was asked?
I think we covered both questions. The first was about like how soon it will happen, probably to take over of our creativity.
Alarmingly quickly, I suspect.
And we both agree that we lack mathematics.
Yeah,
the deep understanding of mathematics, I would rather say.
At the moment,
it's nothing. It's nothing like people could imagine. Like, oh, they cannot solve equation. This is not quite mathematics. We kind of miss from our daily life. We think of something more abstract and robust. Yeah,
I personally don't think it's long for them to get that, for AI to get that far, though.
I think maybe I read somewhere that they said like, average person probably could write worse than AI now. So it's like very, very like medium person with a good memory, like with excellent memory and like, abilities to read something fast. But yeah, I don't know. Like we thought we will have general intelligence for 30 years, and now we have the big breakthrough. But maybe we just find some wall again, and we'll struggle to knock it down for I don't know, like for 50 years. I don't know,
So
but it seems like
conquered-
it's so far away now.
Yeah.
At least
We've conquered
personally,
we've conquered general mediocrity, yeah?
yeah.
Well, hey.
but I think 5 or 10 years ago, like if you ask someone like what we will be able to reproduce, they say like, oh, now we can simulate the brain of reptile, the AI. But I think this lingual models was surprisingly good. So I don't know even could they be the AI or not, considered like full-scale AI, because they're still language models. But somehow it seems like language define our way of thinking also, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't it mean that?
I think so.
It's kind of strange. Yeah. Well,
what's lacking though? There is something, I agree, there's something that's stopping AI at the moment, being a large language model, predominantly AI, from doing all the things you just been talking about, the creativity, the imagination, the being unexpected. Yeah.
I think the problem is we don't quite well know what we need to do, how we own like our own system and body works. I think that's what preventing us to build the something alike. But I read somewhere some new studies about brain development in children in like age from 0 to 1 year. And it's appeared that it looks like neural network training standard practices like pruning, self-teaching, some stuff. So it's very interesting publication. And I think because of AI now we understand better how our own brain works, but we don't fully understand it. So that's why we struggle to fully hit this goal of recreating ourselves. I don't know when we hit when we understand that where this creativity comes from, because probably it's not randomization, it's not.
No,
we're quite good now, but I don't. I don't have questions. I have answers.
No,
just this circulating ideas.
Sure, no, it makes sense to me. We may do it accidentally, of course. AI may develop it without us ever intentionally doing it, of course.
The whole bunch of horror sci-fi stories based on that, right?
Oh yeah. It doesn't have to be a horror for that to happen, but it will certainly be out of our control when it happens, which is itself worrying, but could be positive. You never know. Yeah,
and definitely it will not be like in Matrix. No one will keep human body for the battery. No one.
There are much more efficient batteries to be had, that's for sure.
I was wondering, like, would it be a better idea if the machines keep us for mining, for example, put us in sleep and mine bitcoins or whatever?
Yes, now that I could see. Yes. Yeah. What if the AI inherit our worst habits, which is like obsession with money and bitcoins and stuff like that? Yes, and we may be the Bitcoin miners. Yeah, asleep, obviously doing it.
Yeah. Desires. It needs some desires, some basic desires, and this one hardwired in our biological bodies, right? So it's kind of hard to replicate in a body which does not have this stimulus. I don't know. Maybe you can replicate, maybe not.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So, is there anything else we need to cover? We never need to cover anything, but
no, maybe it's your stream. So, yeah.
Say again.
So it's your stream. You should know better.
So, have we talked about everything in that darn paper enough? Do you think? Is there anything we've left out that you can think of?
I think we do not go through the details, like explaining exactly like what the perturbation is. Maybe
Thank God.
We can explain what the perturbation.
True. I mean,
okay. I have.
I thought of something.
Okay.
It's very minor, but the refereeing process. So this is a very boring thing to end on. So this went through, as I already talked about, remarkably quickly, and the things that they did to the paper there wasn't that much change from the third version I stuck on the arXiv was, I think, the best version of it. I think Surgeons 3. After that, they chucked a bunch of things into the appendix, which I'd have preferred they'd kept in the main part of the paper, particularly. Oh, hello, the cat's coming. This could be another whole element of the video now. They've stuffed the Christoffel symbols into the appendices, and I know it's not the main thrust of this paper's on the surface. Main thrust is getting those conserved perturbed quantities. Yeah, great stuff, amazing stuff. I almost think that the main result of this paper is not the most interesting part of the paper. History may prove that I was wrong in that, but I don't care so much about that, because what was really missing in the cosmology up to now is I couldn't find, and this is good because I got you here, I could not find the bloody Christoffel symbols in Obukhov's original papers anywhere. And you remember I threw them at you because you speak Russian.
Yeah.
Russian. And you couldn't find them, I think.
Because they don't cover it.
No, I couldn't find. So he had these 7 Christoffels connections floating around in the one paper I could read, because it's a good paper in English. But how the bloody hell he had only 7? Because even in FRW, when you're doing it as standard, you get, 14 Christoffels, I think, at least. How can his more complicated thing with the off-diagonals in the metric possibly only get 7 out? And I got 26 non-zero Christoffels, not 7. So
Yes.
I thought the Christoffels were actually quite important. They should have been kept in the main bulk of the paper. But
well, if it's appendix, probably it's a good enough, right?
oh yeah, it's not there. It's there.
Yeah.
And I get why you put the Ricci tensor components, even the Ricci scalar, into the appendix. But I would have liked to keep the Einstein field equations in the main bulk of the paper as well, because they're kind of important too,
Yeah.
But I guess we do what we do to get it published, don't we?
We have this problem with 2 referees, that one of them was gives kind of negative feedback, or like very strange feedback.
Yeah.
Like someone who is not quite in the field. I mean, it's hard to cover our paper because he's like, this paper is not neither in the theory field, neither in very experimental work. So it's not like phenomenology. So because of that, one kind of grasped the idea, another kind of feels like he's tried to put it, like struggle to stretch it to his ideas.
Yeah.
And we try to say, like, okay, let's
we
don't do this because like, and this is not what we meant. And well, this is very hard. And the grant application is a different story. With grant, I have like from 45, I think, maximum.
Yeah.
We get 25 and 35 as our scores. From one referee, 25, another 35, and like it's 35, and 45 is the max.
Right.
So it's like less than half, more than half. Same exact grant. And then we have the problem with the competence of the board, because board don't want to take the responsibility of this.
Yeah.
They don't even want to averaging the scores. So they take the lowest one. I was like, what the hell?
Negative. So daft. We should be kind on the referees, though, because as we were saying earlier, they're normally PhD students. They aren't, they're not experts. Although the way he wrote, the referee for this one, made him sound like he knew it. So he was like, oh, we normally call FRW FLRW in cosmology. I'm thinking, and then he constantly said, and I don't know why you talked about Lemaitre-Tombondy and Lemaitre, and that the only reason those 3 bloody equations are in the introduction, equation blah blah. Where are you? Where have you gone? Introduction. Oh yeah. Equations 1.11 to 1.3. I would never stick equations in the introduction normally, but he didn't know what. First of all, I actually prefer using FLRW myself, but more often when writing these papers, people do use FRW, and Lemaitre had enough page space as it was with Lemaitre-Tombondy and Lemaitre spacetimes in there. I thought, let's drop the L, because that's what most people do, and that one I didn't budge on. I just left it as FRW. But I had to explain the difference between Lemaitre-Tombondy and Lemaitre, because he thought it was the same bloody cosmology. He's like, right, well, here's FRW, here's Lemaitre-Tombondy, here's Lemaitre, and they are 3 different metrics, and that's only there because of the referee being all snooty, saying, oh, well, Normally we just call them one thing. It's like, no, they are three different things, and here they are. Anyway, that's my little gripe.
Yeah, I tried to convince my co-writer like to the same. Like we put. He's like, oh well, actually, I need to read all the papers in order to understand, and I said, no, let's explicitly say this 2 sentences, like in conclusion as well, as if people don't read the paper. And he said, why they should read? I said, no, it's not working this way anymore.
I can't find it, but this reminds me of something else that I put in here. He also seemed confused about how whether angular momentum was being conserved, although explicitly, I'm going to let you go soon, I can see you yawning, although it explicitly says in the introduction that yes, momentum is being conserved, but there's a line where I said, I think I just said, and momentum is conserved naturally, and that's only there to satisfy the referees. Like, yeah, angular momentum is conserved. Duh. Okay.
I see.
But yeah, there's some weird things because of referees, but it didn't. To be fair, I'm being really hypercritical because it didn't ruin the paper. Everything that should be in the paper is there. Minimal changes were made. Oh, and all the spellings got changed to American spellings.
I see.
You wouldn't probably notice, but I bloody did, because every single thing.
I use it usually, American one, not British. So for me, it's the same.
And they decapitalized a few things, which made it look a little, to my brain, a little less elegant. But again, you're publishing, it's fine. It's fine.
So it's the whole process take you how much? Like less than a month?
Yeah, it says on here. I actually had it printed at the top, nice and handily. Received the 18th of November, accepted 16th of January. So that's just under 2 months. And that includes the Christmas period, when people aren't there.
Yeah, sure.
So that's great. And then published 5th of February. So that's really fast, like 2 months, let's say. 3 months if you're really picky. But I've not had anything go through that fast. That's from sent to received.
Yeah, that's nice
published. Yeah. Which again makes me worried. But I worry about the stand of academia. But anyway,
I don't think it's bad thing. Yeah, so
I'm hoping it's good. Tamsin, you've probably met Tamsin because she came to the last Ericha that I was at. From she was in the same group as Gianluca. When I sent it in the chat, she said that comment saying, could it be perhaps they thought your paper was interesting? Don't be ridiculous. That's utterly ludicrous. They never think that. And then I have to remind, oh yeah, she's being nice and thank you.
No, maybe it's just coincidence. Like someone who really in the field read it and really realized, okay, this is good because he struggled to calculate some crystal symbols in other metrics. I don't know.
Yeah.
And he realized that, this is actually very useful paper, even if it's not some breakthrough. It's like very important results, and other people could read
breakthrough. No, but yeah, I do think it's useful for exactly what you just said. I think the crystals is probably the most useful thing in that paper because I haven't seen them before anywhere. So yeah.
So, but in theory, it's usually like this. So they kind of write down the equations, but never hold it's not easily reproducible. So usually when you have good expertise and good training, you can reproduce the results.
Yeah.
They give you this, but at least like the years before, so like 10, 20 years ago, like this old musketeers from from science, they don't like to put the explicit details inside. They like more than you put their idea, and then if you are gifted enough, you can calculate things. If not,
the final equation.
I'm not writing for you if you don't get this from this exactly idea. So exactly. So I think we also shifting the paradigm in my generation.
I hope so. I think my paper is the complete opposite than that. I want you to understand that happened, how I got it, why this was this way. I mean, there's lots of teaching tool stuff in my paper, I think, which you're right, it's missing from a lot of certainly older papers, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's one more thing you've reminded me of. I can't remember what it is now. It's gone out of my head. I must be getting tired too.
No, I'm not tired. I'm just. Alex told me that London time, 1 p.m. we will have the meeting, and somehow I miscalculate the time and get up at 8 p.m. At a.m. And I kind of then I realized that just in case I asked the Gemini, what time should I wake up? And it says like actually like 5 p.m. And I say, oh, 5 p.m. And then I realized, oh yes, I'm actually to the east from the London, so it should be later. I see sun earlier, but it means time is later.
Yeah, and I didn't twig as well when you said it. I thought it was going to be really bad for you. And then he's like, oh, not so bad. Okay, it's fine. Oh, la la.
So you're planning, you have future plans for some other ideas you have already?
Yeah, I mean, I could do more of this, although I don't. That reminded me. I'll come back to that in a second. I might remember it later. The second bit. So we are both phenomenologists, sitting between the theoreticians and the experimentalists. But my previous research has oscillated in that zone. So this one's very much like my first one, close to the theoreticians. The second research I did was on that assisted coupled quintessence, the interacting dark energy, dark matter models, with lots of comparison with future surveys trying to calculate the growth, what the growth factor would be under this model. Anyway, interacting dark energy and dark matter. I could do some more research on that based on what I did previously, because something that always something I always wondered about is, does the number of number of species affect the stability of the growth of structure in these models? Because it had been experimented on with one dark matter, one dark energy species only in Nelson Nunes et al.'s earlier research, and then the research I did with him was expanding it to 2 dark matter, 2 dark energy species, and seeing how that could be made to the constraints of how strong the coupling could be made and still lie within the observational constraints and the upcoming observational constraints for the growth factor, the growth of structure. What I wondered was, if you keep adding numbers to the number of species of both, does that make it less likely to conform to observations or more likely to conform to observations? Does it make it more or less constrained by increasing the number of species? So that hasn't been fully looked at, I think. I mean, I could look at the first 2 papers and see a rough idea of whether it's getting more or less easily constrained, but it would be sensible to do a proper research of how the number of species affects the constraint on the coupling constants between the species. That's what I'm thinking I could do. Does that make sense to you?
Kind of. Yeah, but it makes complete sense. I do not. I cannot reproduce or follow the path from this brief instructions, but I can. Yeah. So how long it takes you to finish the paper from the beginning of you started to work on it? Like a year or something?
I started thinking about it just before the summer holidays. So let's say mid-June, maybe late June. I went into Queen Mary to see my old collaborators I've worked on other things with and get some advice from them. Tim Clifton, my second supervisor on my first paper, I actually went in thinking about another cosmology altogether. I went in thinking about Zekaresh, because he had mentioned, after I did the first paper, like the LTB stuff, he said, yeah, you could be that guy who perturbs weird cosmologies. Now, he didn't use that wording, to be fair. I'm using that wording. He said something like unusual, I think, but weird seemed better to me. And I went back in because he had mentioned you could try at that time, you could try perturbing Zekaresh. And I think, what the hell is Zekaresh? And why would I perturb it? This sounds like Douglas Adams wrote that. What was the Zekaresh, and why would someone want to perturb it? But I went in and I basically asked him that question. I said, okay, I want to knock the rust off my research brain. Why would, what is Zekaresh? And so he told me what Zekaresh was. And I said, okay, my next question was, why bother? which I think is a sadly underused question in science. Is why bother? Because I could see why the spherically symmetric LTB might be interesting or useful to look at. The Zekresh, it's more general, apparently, and I might go back and do it at some point, but I couldn't see any immediate impetus to do it. So that's when I saw those 2 YouTube videos and saw that they were looking at this Obukhov Gödel extension to Godel cosmology. I thought, no, I can see why that could be useful. That cosmology, a rotating cosmology that people might actually want to use, that I can use my brain on. And that's how I decided to do that.
So it was like last summer?
Yeah, oh, sorry, the time frame. That's what the question was about. Yeah, so right at the end of June, I was thinking about it.
2005 or 2004?
2025.
25.
So July, I'd started it. Over the summer holiday, I'd mostly completed it by the
very
end of the
productive.
Summer holiday.
So it's like very productive. It's like less than a year, right?
Oh God, yeah. It took me like 2 months to maybe do it. It makes it sound, it's like easy. Put my hands, it was easy. No, it was freaking hard. And I was pulling my hair out for large chunks of it. But yeah, I did it over my summer holidays and into the next October, up to the half-term holiday that occurred then. And as you can see, I basically finished it by the 31st of October, I'd say. That's when I submitted it on not finished. First submission on the arXiv, I think, was a mostly complete paper on the 31st of October. I hadn't done the perfect fluid version at that point. So I then did a little bit more tarting up in perfect fluid. And that's when I submitted. Once the perfect fluid one was done, yeah, that's when I submitted it to them in the 18th of November. So there you go. That's the time frame. It was quite quick compared to how I did stuff in the past, that's for sure.
Well, but after break, especially in the light of your 10-year break, you said?
Yeah.
It's extremely efficient and fast.
I was surprised myself.
But do you think you want to go back to some research institutes to be like hired by this, or it does not work disturb you? So right now you are doing work, and then instead of having quality, I don't know, resting time, you are doing paper, which is okay, quality resting time, but it's not sustainable model of doing science, right? Or anything in the long term.
I have been thinking, your question, good question. Good question. I have been thinking about such things because if I were offered an academic, position proper, in a university, would I want to take it or not? I enjoy what I am doing, teaching. Not in a university, as you know. And I do have time to do stuff because I only work part-time. And so I do have more time than I might do to do stuff like this. So I don't know. I guess if the right position were offered to me from an academic institution under the right conditions, maybe. But it's not something I feel I desperately need to do. I don't need to rush back to a university necessarily because, as I just proved, I can do it at home. I don't need a supercomputer. I can do it with a 20-year-old, 10-year-old laptop. And I do have time to do this stuff. I'd like more money, but I'm not starving to death either.
Yeah, you foreseen the question. The next question. Yeah. Well, probably then the small grant will be okay, like in this.
I'd never say no to more money.
So somewhere to just temporarily join the group, work with them like on some stuff, and then drop. Then you don't feel that you want to work on some other project. But it's always struggle with academia and don't give you the stability feeling. Always searching for the grants, new institution. No. Till you are professor, you feel like I'm kind of need to find new job, otherwise I'm doomed. Yeah. And teaching probably gives you the stability you will not reach.
Stability is still an illusion because jobs can evaporate like that. The place I work for can go bust. It's not a government place I work for at the moment, so they can go, and the economic climate right now is tough. So nothing, but I have always, since the PhD, I've diversified my interests. I have that permanent job, which is a part-time job, which is why I have extra time. I do tutoring. I do tutoring, which fills up some of that extra time outside. And also I do. It's becoming an actual money stream now. The audiobooks I make a little bit of money. The YouTube makes a little bit of money. None of this stuff is something I'm going to retire on anytime soon. But taking the whole thing together, that is my income, and I survive on it. But assuming any one of those is going to last forever is nothing I do now. It's something I never do.
I see. Yeah. Well, this is a smart way of thinking. I thought, I'm sure, sorry for sharing this. I thought that I was kind of in a good position because I'm a researcher in one institute. I was assistant professor in another Georgian institute, which was good, already stable. Then I was offered to have the organ tuning practice in the in conservatory.
Because you're an amazing musician, which I
no, because I know physics and can working with hands.
No, I'm fine. And an amazing musician.
Kind of.
Carry on.
Yeah. And then I also have this sometimes several hours per semester as like teaching in the private universities.
Yeah.
It's giving me kind of very good and solid stability feeling and also good impact. But our government initialized the reform. So probably one institution was cancelled. Then Ukraine-Russia war gives that our inflation rate is running is skyrocketing actually.
I can imagine.
So in the end, even 1 year ago, I feel that my stability is like guaranteed. So I feel very safe. Now I don't know what will be my income next month. So yeah, diversifying is the only thing. So now what keeps me still relatively calm is this organ tuning thing, because kind of they need this technician, and some private university hours. That's all that I can rely on. Our stability work with, I thought I have like long contracts, prolonged contracts. They just evaporate because government decided that they need to change the system to more authoritarian one. And that sucks. But this is the only way, I think.
I'm sorry that things are.
It's okay. It's okay. I mean, it's part of life.
Yeah.
Part of life, but it's very.
Nowhere safe and stable right now. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
We do what we can, though, and we keep happy.
Yes. And streaming.
So I'm slightly distracted by the cat who's going into the litter tray constantly while I'm talking to you and pooing in front of my face.
Nice.
Sorry.
How is your fox?
Cat. The fox I've not seen. Well, the fox still comes and eats food, but I've not had the fox come and grab food from my hand in a long time. But the cat, on the other hand, much more interactive. Oh, God, you smell. All right. So, I think I may have run out of things to talk about, unless you can think of something.
Not something. This is very private. So then I realized I have a friend who actually have amazing writing skills.
Yeah.
Excellent taste in sci-fi. So I decided to ask you the question, but off the stream probably.
Off the stream, okay, fine.
Yeah, it's more like personal stuff. So about short story writing and stuff. So because now I feel myself that I will become jobless in several months. I started to think like maybe I can diversify it by writing something, and maybe you can advise some small pieces of this.
Gladly. Well, in that case, we'll wind up the stream, but I will remind everyone watching that this is not the only. So you've had one video already today. People who are on my channel. You had the actual. My God, who would want to watch someone reading a video? And they've had the live stream. But 7 o'clock today is episode 9 or 8. I forget now. I wish I looked it up. 8 or 9 of At the Mountains of Madness by H.P. Lovecraft, read by Vincent Price AI. Back to AI again, which I recommend you all watch because it's scary and spooky and written by an author who is far better than me. and read by an actor who is far better than me. I'm not an actor. So yeah, I recommend you all come along here again in a few hours at 7 o'clock to watch that. And I will be in the chat typing away, no doubt. But until then, thank you, Juka, for joining me on this wild roller coaster of cosmology.
Thank you. Less cosmology, but a lot of friendly chat. It was pleasure and very pleasant to talk with you. So thank you very much for inviting me.
No, you're most welcome, and thank you. And now I have to do my inelegant diving towards the computer to end the session because it's always slightly out of my reach. So thank you all for coming, and goodbye.
Bye.
Oh God, can't do it.